Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Get ready to take care of you. All this week, we've been talking with couples who are at a crossroads due to infidelity in their relationship. Now, today, we'll begin a 3-part episode where an affair has rocked 2 families at the same time. Now, Brad says he's torn between his wife, Michelle, and another woman who's calling herself Sarah to protect her identity. But it gets even more complicated because Brad's mistress used to be his wife's best friend. And to add to the drama, both women became pregnant by him at the same time. Here's their story.
We've been married almost 14 years. We have 3 children. My husband had an affair with my best friend.
The other woman and I were intimate 3 or 4 times a week.
I found out about Brad's affair while vacationing with this other couple.
Several days after the affair came out, I had told Michelle that I was in love with my girlfriend.
At first, I was in complete shock. I felt so betrayed by both of them.
I had told my wife that I wanted to be with the other woman.
I did ask him, how could he do this to me? How could he do this to our kids? And his response was that he loved her and that he wanted to be with her, but he was torn because he loved me and wanted to be with me too. I was promised that it was going to stop.
I do feel like I'm torn between 2 women. I don't think Michelle understands that I'm in love with my girlfriend.
I knew that Brad and her were still having an affair.
I would meet her during the day on our lunch hour.
I would catch him in lies. I ended up pregnant, and I thought at that time something has to happen.
The other woman found out she was pregnant a month after my wife discovered that she was pregnant. I feel overwhelmed when I think about having 2 babies.
These affairs have piled on me. Now this other child is piled on me, and I feel like I'm just sinking in the mud. I've been told that he did finally break the affair in December. Now I don't know if it's true or not. Do you not see my life as being lived as a lie?
The other woman, she just mesmerizes me. She makes me happy.
I start thinking, what could I have done differently? Am I not pretty enough? Am I not smart enough? It makes me feel horrible.
I do love both of them.
I'm crushed, I'm hurt over the fact that he's torn. Here he has a wife and a family and a home. She's got a husband and a family and a home of her own.
I want to save my family, but I'm afraid of losing the other woman. I feel like I don't have the strength to tell either of them to leave me alone. I don't know what to do. I'm torn of who I want to spend the rest of my life with, whether it's my wife or my girlfriend.
Okay, now, Brad, you wrote the letter, right?
Correct.
What is it you hope is going to happen here today?
And what I want is for this to be rectified one way or the other.
How are you feeling right now, Michelle?
Horrible.
Tell me.
I am very angry. I am very upset. I'm very scared.
But you're not new to this.
No.
In fact, you found a list in his car, which I thought was interesting that you would leave that in your car for her to find, listing 40 women that he's been involved with, 19 of whom he admits have been since he married you.
Yes.
Certainly, there has been a pattern of egregious infidelity in this across a period of 14 years, beginning with the first year you were married, correct? It seems to me that you two have conspired to negotiate a very sick relationship between the two of you. It's not healthy for you and it's not healthy for you. Would you agree?
Yes.
And then we have to sprinkle in the children.
Yes.
Because they're aware of all of this too, correct?
Yes.
Because you've fought about it in front of them, they've heard you talk about it, they know that you have a girlfriend now and that you're probably the father of her child.
Correct.
and in fact, you are the father of her child. You know at an intellectual level that what you're doing is wrong for your marriage, it's wrong for your children, it's unhealthy for you, it's unhealthy for the other woman who's also married.
Right.
Is it just a hedonistic thing? It's just you seek pleasure and avoid pain at every turn?
The list of the women from, the affair from the first year, I think that's what it was. But everything's changed in the last 2 years with this is completely different.
For the purposes of this broadcast, for reasons that are beyond my comprehension, she wants to not be called by her actual name and be referred to as Sarah. Okay. And her sister, who is here, just kind of, I guess, as moral support, wants to be referred to as Lisa. And maybe she can tell us why. I mean, it didn't seem that she was particularly caught up in discretion before now, but, well, I mean, seriously, I think you guys are pretty much out there. So, but now, this affair with her is still going on, right?
Yes, it is.
You were with her last night, correct?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
I need to go back. Her and I had a conversation out on the street. We sat on the steps and we talked for a little while. It's not what I'm sure everyone thinks that is. We were back in a hotel room.
Well, I didn't say you had sex with her last night. I said you were with her last night.
Yes, I was.
Okay, and were you aware of that?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
And because you had told her recently that this was over.
Right.
Okay, but you didn't have sex with her last night, according to you. I don't know whether you did or you didn't, but you did have sex with her 9 days ago.
Right.
Okay, so you know this is very recent now, correct? Yes. You're hearing that now, so you know. All right, now, we're going to take a break, and next, the other woman, the girlfriend, the mistress, whatever language you want to use, is going to join us here on stage. She wants Brad to choose her over his wife. Now, she and Sarah, Michelle and Sarah, have not spoken since they both gave birth to his children 24 days apart, which has been, what, 5 months?
6 months.
6 months ago. So we're going to add to this when we come back.
I've never felt like the other woman because Brad loves me. For some reason in my mind, the fact that I love him and he loves me makes it okay. It's confusing to me that he's so torn because he was just so willing before to give his life up with her and be with me. I just want Michelle to give up so I can be with Brad.
I am no longer friends with this woman that used to be my best friend. I haven't spoken to in about 5 months. She's done so much damage to my marriage that I'm in shell shock. I feel betrayed by her. There's just so much resentment towards her that I feel like lashing out at her.
Well, 2 marriages are at stake today. We're talking to Brad and Michelle. He says he's torn between loving 2 women, his wife and her former best friend, who is also married. Now, the other woman, the girlfriend, is here today. Now, she and Michelle haven't spoken in 6 months. But first, I want you to hear her side of the story before she joins us on stage.
I was friends with Michelle when I fell in love with her husband. The affair started online, just kind of some fun little flirting. We did finally go out to a club one night as couples, and he whispered in my ear, "I think you're gorgeous." My husband and I live about 2 blocks from Brad and Michelle. My oldest son and his middle son played baseball and football together. I helped Brad throw Michelle her 30th birthday party, and it was while we were hot and heavy. I've never felt like the other woman because Brad loves me. For some reason in my mind, the fact that I love him and he loves me makes it okay. I'm not so cheap. Brad and I always joke that I'm his girlfriend. When the affair actually came out, Michelle was yelling, screaming. My husband, I just see the pain in his face. It was hard. Brad told me, he said, "I'm leaving. You can come with me or you can stay." That was a real pivotal moment when I decided to leave with him. When Michelle found out that she was pregnant, and Brad told me, it was probably the closest I've ever come to a nervous breakdown. I lost it. Then, lo and behold, I found out I was pregnant. The relationship with Brad continued throughout my pregnancy. Brad and I have still been intimate. We have been trying to decide what we're gonna do. Brad makes me very happy. I want more than anything for my family to be okay. But I can't seem to ever live without him in my life. I love the way he talks to me. I love the things he says to me. I love the way he tells me his feelings and his thoughts. He makes me feel good about myself. I know Brad's had many affairs. He has told me that I am the only one he's considered leaving Michelle for. It's confusing to me that he's so torn because he was just so willing before to give his life up with her and be with me.
Okay, difficult to watch. What is your reaction to that?
I am so angry and so hurt. And it's just hard to hear those things come out of her mouth because he tells me the same things. You know, he tells me he loves me every day. We are intimate 3 to 4 times a week, and I just don't understand why she's so torn.
Well, you're going to have a chance to ask her, because we're going to talk about that, because I'm going to have her join us here. Now, we're not going to have some big cat fight up here. Everybody just stay seated, and we're just going to deal with this. Maturity may be a new element to this relationship, but we're going to embrace some today. But that doesn't mean you can't say what you want to say.
Sure. Okay?
So can we have the next guest, please? Good to see you. Have a seat. You understand that the audience can see you and we're shooting this, but for some reason you want to be shot from behind.
Yes.
And go by the name of Sarah.
Yes.
Tell me why that's important to you.
It's important to me because of my children, my husband, and my job.
Okay, and you think they don't know what's going on?
Not to the full extent.
You think your husband doesn't know?
He knows.
He knows you're here.
But he has asked me
He
not.
knows you're involved. He knows you're having an affair. He's talked with you on numerous occasions. And the reason I'm asking you is because the first step towards getting anything resolved here is everybody stepping up and being accountable. If you're big enough to do it, be big enough to own it. You know, I mean, I think that's true with everybody. So you're having an affair with Michelle's husband.
Yes.
First question, what gives you the right to lay with another woman's husband, to be intimate with him? What gives you the right to inject yourself into their relationship? And I'm going to ask you the same question in a minute, but you just got here, so I'm asking you first.
Nothing gives me the right. I am ashamed. I'm not proud of it at all. It happens so quickly, and I couldn't stop it.
You say that you talk to him like 3 times a day, have sex 2 or 3 times a week.
That was an average of how things have been in the past. It certainly hasn't been that way recently.
You said that Brad says he still loves you and that only you can make him happy. Does he tell you that?
Yes.
Does he tell you that? Does he tell you that he's in love with you and that
Sure.
he wants to be there with you?
Sure. Yes, he does.
That's not that cut and dry, Dr. Phil. It's not. It's really not. So this is not just I'm telling everybody every time I'm on the phone with anybody I talk to that I love them, and that's not the case at all.
You say you're coming on the show because you want Brad to choose you and leave Michelle and get this done.
No, it's not that cut and dry either. It's not.
Well, you know what? I've got in quotes that you wish she would leave so I could have him. I want Brad for myself. I'm in love with him, and I'm not going to go away. And he's cheated on her so many times that I worry that he might cheat with me as well.
There are times that I do wish that, she would be done and we could see where it could go for us. But I am very torn too. I'll feel that way one day and the next day I don't feel that way.
In fact, you've wanted to leave a number of times and then you backed out and said, no, I won't leave. I'm going to stay with my husband and my children. And so you said, so, well, why should I give up my family if she's not going to leave hers, correct? Right. So you've been reluctant a number of times. You've been in and out a number of times. And you're just sitting there. What did you want to say to her? She's here?
You are unbelievable, just unbelievable.
I mean, why? I mean, why do you say that?
The fact that you honestly think, number one, that he's going to leave me. He hasn't left me in 2 years. I mean, you've been with him for 2 years. You haven't seen him walk out the door, have you?
He's been gone a few times.
Well, he always comes back, you know?
Because I haven't left.
Oh, whatever. You know,
Do
you have a husband. You have a family.
I know, that's why I'm still home.
Okay, I've got a question for all three of you. We'll talk more with this complicated situation when we come back.
I think I'm torn between the two of them because my wife represents my family and we've been together so long. The other woman is something different. Her and I respond to each other. We have an electricity and she makes me happy.
We've been talking about a story of infidelity that could potentially rip two marriages apart. Now, Brad wrote to me because he says he's torn between his wife and his mistress, who is also married. And to make matters even more complicated, both women became pregnant by him at the same time and delivered within 24 days of one another, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now, let me ask you something. What are you doing getting pregnant with him when you know what's going on?
It was honestly an oops. I mean, we did not, it was an unplanned pregnancy.
There are a lot of things that you can do to just keep that from like, whoops.
I agree. I agree.
Tell me what your thoughts were in getting pregnant.
Total
Did
shock.
you do it on purpose?
Oh, totally not, no. No, why would I do that? Why would I bring an innocent child into this already mess?
I don't know, but I know that you seem to me to be an intelligent adult that would be aware of the dangers. Were you having unprotected sex?
I thought we were being careful, but obviously we weren't.
Thought you were being careful. Okay. Do you want to be with him?
Yes, I do.
So you say that you have raw feelings for him that are very strong and you want to be with him. So why haven't you left to be with him?
Because of my children. And my husband. My husband is he's a wonderful man. And I keep trying to, every day I hope I'll wake up and my feelings for Brad will lessen and I'll be able to put it back together with my husband.
Do you want to stay with him?
I'm not so sure I do anymore.
You need to take an honest look at yourself, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you agree that you just have no apparent self-control?
I do. I really do.
Do you agree that you apparently have no boundaries? No boundaries to your relationship with either person?
I agree with that. In my opinion, we are here because I don't want to hurt either woman, and I love both of them, and all it's doing is dragging everyone through the mud.
I think one thing you have in common is an interest in Brad, and just going over your resume here, if you were applying to be a husband, a boyfriend, and a lover, see, we've had 40 affairs, 19 during the marriage, so many that they have often overlapped.
I had a brief, it wasn't even an affair, it was a sexual encounter after we got married, and then several years went by. Then it began to snowball where, Michelle and I have had a lot of problems open with each other for 8 or 9 years.
It started to snowball.
Right.
I mean, I hate it when that happens. What do you mean it started to snowball? Aren't you it?
Absolutely.
So what you mean is you started to make one choice after another
Right.
to have a sexual encounter or an affair or whatever
Right.
semantics you want to dial into it. And I guess, are you number 40? No, I'm serious. Are you number 40 or have there been some after you?
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
Are you cheating on her
No.
besides with your wife?
No, that's what people don't understand.
So you are number 40 then. Is that true? On your list, if you go down 139, then at 40 would be her name.
Well, you know, those aren't all affairs. You know, they're not. They're not. I mean, they were.
Well,
there
it's
were
your
people,
list.
They were people.
So would she be?
I understand, but what
Would she be
what
20
you haven't
then?
portrayed?
Or 19? Because you said there were 19 that you considered affairs. Would she be 19 or have there been
I
others
guess for all
after?
intents and purposes, that's correct.
If you think what you're doing is okay, and it's just something that is just the way you truly feel, why have you lied to Michelle about it?
We've really tried to make an effort to break this thing off, and you know, obviously the answer to your question is to try to protect my family. But I don't think it's right by any stretch of the imagination. I am overloaded with guilt, and I couldn't hardly stand to look her or her husband in the eye, and the guilt is just overwhelming. People have no idea what it can do to you.
Well, I have a question for you two, and we're also going to add your sister to the mix. We'll be calling her Lisa today, and we'll be right back.
I can't understand why my sister is torn between Brad and her husband. There's just no comparison. Her husband is a good provider, a good father. Brad is a manipulator, a user. I don't know if my sister has the strength to walk away from Brad.
Well, that was the sister of the other woman, or the girlfriend, as she likes to be called instead. You're her sister.
Correct.
What do you think about what she's doing here?
I think it's totally ridiculous. I'm not proud of, what she's done. I don't condone her for what she's done, but I also think that he's the predator, the manipulator, the person that started it all.
So you don't have a very high opinion of
Not
Brad.
whatsoever, no. Dr. Phil, her marriage was fine. We're sisters, we're pretty close. I'm out here with her. Never has she ever said to me that there was any problems in her marriage. Never. My friends even thought if you had a definition of a perfect marriage, it was my sister and her husband. And then he, being the person that he is, pounced on, saw maybe a weakness or whatever, and started telling her what obviously she needed to hear at the time. And he knew what to say, and because he's good at it. Like, the list shows, he's had a lot of experience, a lot of practice. And he's told her what he wants to hear. And, he's obviously telling Michelle what she needs to hear, because they're
Michelle,
both buying into it.
So what did you want to say to her? You now know that they are still involved. They were together last night. They admit to having sex as recently as 9 days ago. And she says she fully intends to take your husband, that she does love him, she does want to be with him, and she's here to achieve that today. What do you have to say?
I'm to the point now where, you know what, you can have him. I'll bring his dirty laundry over. You take it. You take it. You take care of him. You take care of him, Leave your husband, leave your kids, leave your house. You want to move into mine? You go right ahead. You have it all. Take it. It won't be very fun. It won't be fun at all. You know that.
Yeah, because he's done it before. He's going to do it again.
Well, he just told me. He told me just the other day that he was having, still battling with temptations. He originally thought that he wouldn't have any temptations if he was with her, that all of that would go away, because she was the perfect one for him. Well, he just admitted the other day that that wasn't the case, and that he was just fooling himself into believing that she was the perfect one and he wouldn't do it again.
You're saying in our interviews with you that you are here because you don't want to lose your husband to this person. You may be changing your mind as you're getting more information. I understand that. And you're saying that you're here because you want him to choose you instead of her. And I'm just wondering, why is it his choice? Why do you have such low self-esteem, such low self-worth, that you've got to be there saying, pick me, instead of don't let the door hit you in the ass, buddy? And you know that. I mean, you know your own resume. You've got to know you are a high-risk, damaged goods sexual addict. You have to know that. So it's kind of like the old saying, I wouldn't join any club that would have me as a member. Knowing your history as she does, wouldn't you wonder what's wrong with her if she would say, you bet, I'll leave my husband, who I say is a nice guy, bust up my family with children that I love, to go be with somebody that I can't trust as far as I can throw him? Wouldn't you be concerned about why in the world she would do that?
I think that's why she hasn't. I mean, it certainly appears that I'm in control and I'm making the decisions here, but I think we have 4 people here that are afraid to make a decision. I think all 4 of us involved in this situation have just been waiting for someone else to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Really? And let's be selfish on your behalf for a minute, okay? Depending on whose list we use and how we categorize the individuals involved, you're either number 19 or 40, right? Does that not really cause you concern to say, I am being used here, I am a way station?
It concerns me, but I believe I'm different. I believe that he loves me. He didn't love the other ones. He didn't fall in love. That's why that's why we're in the predicament that we're in, because we fell in love.
Dr. Phil, she's not number 40. There's been 41 and 42. He had a picture on his cell phone of another woman since he's been with her. And I think he's made contact with another woman since then also.
If that's true, why would you lie about that? Because the only way I can ever get my arms around this, the only way I can ever respect any boundaries, the only way I can ever claim any control is to start saying, no more lies. Then you say there's a cell phone picture. I mean, I don't know what you're doing looking at his cell phone. But
No, it's just what I heard. This is what she told me.
that's what you told me.
Yes.
So you have concerns that you may not be the last one?
It came out. Michelle actually saw the picture.
I don't know what number she was, but it was a picture of one of the others that she had sent to him. It was a picture of her in a bikini on a beach that she had sent to him.
So a woman takes a picture of herself in a bikini and sends it to you?
She went to Florida and sent me a picture. But that doesn't mean that I've had sex with her since I've been with her.
No, I'm not saying that.
That's ridiculous.
I'm not saying that you have. But I'm just saying she's on the radar screen. I mean, right?
And known that I've talked to her.
Does that make it
I've been
right?
honest about that, and she knows that I've talked to her.
Because I'm 54 years old. I've never had a woman send me a picture of herself in a bikini yet. I mean, Brad was saying before, there's 4 people involved and they aren't sure, any of them, what needs to happen. There's actually a lot more than 4 people involved. And we're going to talk about where all the children fall in this, including the 2 babies, one to each woman, fathered by Brad, when we come back.
It's really heart-wrenching that they have a child together. I had already been hit with the bombshell that he was having the affair with my best friend. I couldn't fathom it. I found pictures of him in her house with his shirt off holding my baby daughter and his son with a big cheesy grin on his face. I was so mad.
I would love to see the baby on a regular basis.
If he wants to have visitation with her baby, I want it to be under my terms. I can't trust him being alone with her.
I'd love to be his full-time father.
Well, we're talking about an affair that has destroyed a friendship, has nearly ended, and maybe should, I don't know, not 1, but 2 marriages. What's your husband think about this?
He's still home. He's still there, but he doesn't. He didn't want me to come here. He didn't want to be a part of this. He likes to ignore the problems and hope they go away.
But he knows that you're involved with Brad, right?
Yes.
I assume that's not okay with him.
No, he's on the verge of walking out, and I think after today he will.
He doesn't know y'all are still having sex, right?
No. They
how-
keep telling each other, you know, they keep tell Michelle and her husband that it's over, it's over.
And we've tried. We have. And
Yeah.
when we say it's over, it's been over. It may not last very long, but it's been. We have tried.
He won't leave her alone.
Now, your children,
You know, take care of your own business before you start throwing stones. You got problems in your own house, so
Oh, I do?
she doesn't know what she's talking about.
well, let's talk about what we do know,
Okay,
okay?
I know
We
a
do
lot.
know you have children,
correct,
and we do know they know about this.
correct.
Okay, when you stack the priority list in your life and you say, okay, my decisions, my choices, my actions are going to be driven by my priorities,
Right.
where do the kids come?
I have stayed married, even though we've had problems and we tried to work through them and we didn't get the counseling we needed. But I wanted to stay for my children. That's why I thought I was staying. And I thought, as horrible as this sounds, I thought my extracurricular actions were aside. I thought I can keep the family together, I can raise my children, and I'm meeting some other needs over here.
Did you really think it wouldn't have an impact? Because if you said they're important, when you saw this, you would have stopped right then. You would have said, my children are at the top of the list. This has now started encroaching on their peace in life. A soft, secure home, a soft, secure place to fall. Once you became aware that was the case, you would have stopped, right?
You would certainly think so.
But you didn't.
No, I did not.
So does that tell you that you are out of control, that you have no impulse control, and that you are delusional in your thinking? You're telling yourself things that just simply have no basis in fact.
And I've been through that, and I've tried to analyze this situation with her. You know, maybe it's not what I think it is. Maybe, you know, we're both delusional. You know, I've been through that for 2 years. But we haven't been able to get away from each other. Because, I would love nothing more than to be the perfect husband and father. And we've talked about with the other affairs, the list you keep bringing up. You know, I'm glad that came out, and we've talked about that. I'm glad that came out.
Well, you say the list I keep bringing up. You wrote the list
I agree.
and put it in your car.
Right. And that's what I was referring to, was the list.
You wanted her to find it, right?
I think subconsciously I did.
I would guess since you wrote it out and left it in the car,
Yeah.
you wanted her to find
Right.
it. I mean, I assume there's part of you that either thinks that this is going to wind up in a really bad place at some point if you don't stop it, or you are so gutless that you're trying to get her to make the decision. You said we're waiting for somebody to tell us what to do. Are you trying to make her so mad that she'll say, get out, so you can then be the victim and say, well, she threw me out, so I have permission to go do this? Think about that, really.
I will. But something that was not brought up is for the 8 or 9 years that I'm talking about that we had problems prior to this, I was the one that pushed for counseling, and she didn't want to go. I have really tried to get help for this marriage for a long time.
Okay, but you're not suggesting that therefore validates your decision to turn
Absolutely
outside
not.
the marriage with
Absolutely
somebody else.
not.
You're just
Absolutely
bringing that
not.
up for general conversation purposes then.
Right.
Because you're not saying that since she wouldn't talk, I go start having an affair with 19 other women.
Well, and that's why, but it's not right. I agree it's not right.
Did you lie to the therapist about whether you were still involved
Yes,
or not?
I did.
What's the point in going to therapy if you're not going to tell the truth?
I saw individual therapy at that point because we were in marriage counseling and I was still seeing her, so I wanted to go see an individual therapist so I could be completely honest at that point.
But you weren't completely honest with the therapist that was working to heal the marriage.
No.
That's not good.
No, it's not good. It's not good at all.
But I think you're worried about hurting her feelings.
I'm worried about hurting either of them.
He hasn't worried about hurting me for 2 years. I mean, he just continues to do it on and on and on. You haven't cared.
All right, I need to take a quick break. Now, next, Sarah says if Brad doesn't leave his wife, she does not want him in their baby's life. We'll be right back. Brad is married to Michelle, but has been having an affair with her ex-best friend. Now, to make matters even more complicated, both women had babies by him at the same time. They were just 24 days apart. Now, did you say either leave there or you're not going to be in the baby's life?
No, I never put it like that at all.
Is there anything that we have quoted you as saying that you're willing to own?
No, I've never given him an ultimatum. Leave her or not be in the baby's
Okay,
life.
put this in the frame that makes it in
I have
context.
said that if he and I are not going to be together and we're going to try to stay in our marriages, then I would like him to not have visitation with the baby.
Isn't what you just said exactly what I just said?
No, because I never gave him that ultimatum.
What do you want to say to her?
I never meant for this to happen. It wasn't what I intended. And I'm sorry that she's hurt.
I take that with a grain of salt because she's a liar and a manipulator just like he is. So I don't believe anything that comes out of her mouth.
But you intend to spend the rest of your life with her husband, correct?
If it works out that way, like I've said, I'm confused. I don't know. One day I think I want to be with him. The next day I don't.
You're not willing to withdraw from this relationship and leave her husband alone.
No, that's not true. If that's what he wants me to do, and that's what that's what I think is best for myself and my family, then I am willing to do that.
Okay, well, then I'll play. Do you think that's best for your family and your marriage?
I think it's best for my children. I don't know that my husband and I can put things back together and heal.
Did you say, I wish she would leave so I could have him? I want Brad for myself.
I said that sometimes I wish she would leave for herself.
Oh, you just mean it for her.
Herself, and then, of course, sometimes I wish he would leave for me.
Because you know what? Listen, guys, you came here for some help, right? And I'm trying to get you two to at least own where you are. Just be honest. You want her husband. You've said it. I have you on tape saying it. You've said it 100 times. And you tell her last night the affair's not over. You get hysterically upset. You say, all right, I want separate rooms. And you promptly call her and meet her down on the street.
Right.
Come on. And then you say, well, you know, gee, actually, I think that I may need to consider the alternatives here. That's a load of crap. You got separate rooms so you could go meet her. I mean, just based on results, that's what happened. As soon as you got away from her, you went and rendezvoused with her.
Right.
All right, I'll be right back. So many lives are involved that we're going to continue rolling our cameras. We're going to continue working with these people as long as they want to work and are willing to stay involved. So don't miss the next show as we unravel this triangle and bring a conclusion to all of this.
Next time.
Have your husband cheating on you, lying to you, marriage is on fire.
We are delving into infidelity, an affair with the neighbor's wife. Part 2.
You're either going to choose your family and your children, or you're going to choose him.
He loves me.
He has you in the back seat of a car, sneaking around in a hotel. What right do you have to be sleeping with this man? When you leave here, what are you going to do?
Next, Dr. Phil.
Leave this woman and her family alone.
That's next time.
Thanks for being here. So long. So long. Today on Dr. Phil. His affair got his wife's best friend pregnant.
You have played me for so long.
I'm tired of it.
Now,
Meet the other woman's husband.
the battle for custody is on.
You two want to raise that child.
We want what's best for that baby.
You think Michelle is not a good mother.
I don't think she would be a positive thing in his life.
You're judging her, but it's you that's sleeping with somebody else's husband. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Get ready to take care of you. Last week, we began following a story of a husband who has said he was torn between his wife and his girlfriend, and they used to be best friends. Now, the situation became even more complicated when both women became pregnant by him at the same time. Now, today they're back to tell us what happened after they left the stage and returned home. And this time, you're also going to meet the other woman's husband. Here's what's happened so far.
My husband had an affair with my best friend. I did ask him, how could he do this to me? How could he do this to our kids? And his response was that he loved her and that he wanted to be with her, but he was torn because he loved me and wanted to be with me too.
I've never felt like the other woman. For some reason in my mind, the fact that I love him and he loves me makes it okay.
I ended up pregnant, and I thought at that time something has to happen.
Both women became pregnant by him at the same time.
It's confusing to me that he's so torn because he was just so willing before to give his life up with her and be with me.
I'm torn of who I want to spend the rest of my life with, whether it's my wife or my girlfriend.
This affair with her is still going on, right?
Yes, it is.
The other woman is going to join us here on stage. What gives you the right to lay with another woman's husband?
I am ashamed.
You are unbelievable. You have a husband. You have a family.
You say that you have raw feelings for him that are very strong, and you want to be with him. So why haven't you left to be with him?
Every day I hope I'll wake up and my feelings for Brad will lessen.
Do you want to stay with him?
I'm not so sure I do anymore.
See, we've had 40 affairs, 19 during the marriage. Are you number 40?
I believe I am different. I believe that he loves me. He didn't love the other ones.
She says she fully intends to take your husband, and she's here to achieve that today.
I'm to the point now where, you know what, you can have him. I'll bring his dirty laundry over. You take it.
When you stack the priority list in your life, where do the kids come?
I thought I can keep the family together, I can raise my children, and I'm meeting some other needs over here.
I assume there's part of you that either thinks that this is going to wind up in a really bad place at some point if you don't stop it, or you are so gutless that you're trying to get her to make the decision. You were with her last night, correct?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and were you aware of that?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Why is it his choice? Why do you have such low self-worth that you've got to be there saying, pick me, instead of don't let the door hit you in the ass, buddy? Do you think 5 years down the road, the two of you would be together?
I believe that.
Yes.
My prediction is that if you actually got married, you would become Michelle. You are an interloper. You are a transgressor. You are a burglar. And you need to get out of her house, get out of her family, get out of her life. And I will get you help to make that come true. So what do you want?
I want him to leave me alone.
Well, after the show, the situation was obviously very tense. Emotions were running high backstage. We shot that. Take a look.
It was extremely uncomfortable to be on stage with not only both women, but all the women in the audience as well.
It was really hard to see Sarah face to face. It brought up a lot of anger and resentment towards her.
I saw a lot of hatred from her. I felt guilt.
The best advice Dr. Phil gave me was,
You need to take an honest look at yourself. You just have no self-control, no boundaries to your relationship.
the most powerful thing that Dr. Phil said to me was,
Where do the kids go? This has now started encroaching on their peace.
I am truly committed to try to make a change in my life. I want to do everything I can to respect the boundaries and do what we need to do to hold these families together.
Wouldn't you love to be 100% happily married to Michelle?
Absolutely.
But you don't have that ability with anybody. That's why you're meeting your needs with two women, because Michelle's stable and predictable and secure. And then you're saying on the other side here, it's more electric and exciting and all of that. And those two things together kind of fills the hole.
Right.
Well, what you got to do is figure out, why can't I feel that good with my wife?
I'm thinking Brad is probably hurt over the fact that Sarah said she wants to be with her family and not have anything to do with him. And I think he's probably really freaking out thinking that I'm going to divorce him.
I do not believe that Sarah really wants me to leave her alone, because I really don't want to leave her alone.
I understand why I need to stay away from him. I do. I know it's not good for him or his family. You're my family, but I'm really scared. I don't have the strength to do it.
You clearly will go through some withdrawal, but you can do this. Look, you got sucked up in this, and you made some bad decisions, and you have to own those. On another level, you're a victim. I mean, this guy is good at what he does, and he came and picked you off, and you got involved with him. What I'm trying to do is grab you and shake you before you look up and go, oh my God, what have I done? What happened to my family? What about my kids? And I'm trying to get you to stop this before that happens. And for some reason, your husband is still hanging in there.
Well, what would you do with the baby that we share?
I don't think you make a decision about that right now, because right now you're this way. You're all emotional. Should he have a role in that child's life? That depends on what's best for that baby. Instinct says that because he's the biological father, he should, but I don't want that to be a temptation, manipulation, backdoor way of getting back together right now. We'll talk about that in the future. So let 24 hours go by
I'm so scared of that.
and calm down. Go home, be with your husband and your children.
He may not want anything to do with me anymore. It may be too late. I don't know.
I doubt it.
Brian, I just gotta do it.
You have got to walk away from her, or you're going to destroy a lot of people's lives, and then you're going to say, I wish I'd have got control of myself before my children had to pay the price, before her children had to pay the price.
Well, we followed Michelle and Brad as they drove to the airport. This was the first time they were alone together after being here on our stage.
I knew that coming here, it was going to force us in one direction or the other. And either way, I think it's important for people to start to heal.
How can you heal from something you don't know is over?
What can I say? I'm still in shock. I haven't really let any of it sink in.
How could you be in shock and not have it sink in when you're the one that's done this? You've lived it. You've already been through it once. I was knocked in the head by a lot of it. You have played me for so long. You had me snowed coming here. You lied. You were with her last night, for crying out loud. I knew that was going to happen. And I'm tired of it. Do you hear me? I am tired of it. Quit involving me. If you don't want to be in this relationship, then go. And I may just cut my losses, file for divorce, and start my life over so I don't have to suffer in this hell anymore.
Well, next, we're going to find out what happened when Brad and Michelle got back home. We'll hear about a rendezvous between Brad and the other woman that just absolutely sent Michelle through the roof. We'll be right back.
A few weeks after the show, Sarah and I decided to meet for lunch. It turned out not to be an innocent lunch.
We started off sitting across from each other, then we sat side by side, just to be closer. The kiss that happened at lunch was no big deal. It was something we did all the time. We playfully talked about going back to my house.
My heart dropped and I was so mad.
We're continuing to follow the affair that Brad had with his wife's ex-best friend. The last time Brad and Michelle were here, 2 marriages were at stake over this affair because the other woman is also married. Now here's what happened when Brad and Michelle got back home.
When we left, I felt like I'd been punched in the gut.
I was full of rage. I was very upset and very hurt.
Right after the show, I was still in contact with Sarah. I was worried about her. I loved her.
We were waiting for our plane and I saw him punching on his phone. And I asked him, are you text messaging Sarah? And he at first said no.
I didn't tell Michelle because I was still living a lie.
At that point, I thought, he didn't listen to a damn word Dr. Phil told him. And she didn't listen to a damn word Dr. Phil told her.
Michelle and I decided that we needed some space apart from each other. And we decided to take turns staying at the house. I was so lost and confused that I told both Michelle and Sarah I needed to be away from both of them. I needed some space. It wasn't working.
I was worried that he was still contacting her, that he was still meeting her.
I couldn't stop talking to her. It was still an emotional affair. I was still attached to her. I went from talking to Sarah 4 or 5 times a day to talking to her every 48 hours.
A week after the show, I pressed redial on Brad's mom's phone and realized that it was Sarah's number.
I called Sarah from my mom's house because I wanted to talk to her.
My heart dropped and I was so mad. I called her and said, I hope you're making room for him because I'm sending him over with all of his belongings.
Michelle threatened to divorce me.
I did give Brad an ultimatum, either her or me. That was a turning point.
A few weeks after the show, it finally reached the point where we were rock bottom. Sarah and I agreed to meet each other for lunch, to get together with the babies and talk about a few things. It turned out not to be an innocent lunch.
I found out about their lunch several days after it happened. Brad had taken pictures of himself with the child and of Sarah. I was very hurt.
I just realized that this is so unhealthy and I can't live this way anymore, and I made the decision to salvage my marriage and put my family back together. There was an element of sadness when we broke it off. Dr. Phil said I was a sex addict. I took offense to that. I'm not a sex addict. Sex has been an easy outlet for me. I like excitement. I like to do risky things. I get bored easily.
Since the show, he has started reading about attention deficit disorder.
It may be adult ADD. That could have played a big part in why I've been unfaithful. I think if we hadn't come on the show, Michelle and I wouldn't be together. One thing that really stands out is when Dr. Phil made the prediction that if Sarah and I got together, she would become the next Michelle. When he said that, I thought, the hell with that. I was determined that I'd prove him wrong one way or the other. I thought, I'm not a cheater. I can change.
You've got to get your legs up under you. You got to get a backbone about you.
When Dr. Phil said I needed to get a backbone, it did wake me up. I was going to fight for what I felt was mine and what was right. I can't let her win.
I do miss Sarah. I think about her on a daily basis. Although it's hard for me, I don't plan to talk to the other woman.
My greatest fear is that Brad and Sarah will get involved again. That will just rip me apart.
When you were here last time, you said this was like you got hit in the stomach, that this concept of you having 40 affairs was overplayed in the show. Now, you're the one that made the list, right?
Right. You know, the clarification is it wasn't 40 women that I had sexual intercourse with, but there were people on there that I had flirted with and had some type of contact.
Well, you've heard my definition of cheating, right?
Exactly, and that's what I was going to say, that I've come to the conclusion that it doesn't matter. If it's something that she doesn't approve of, then it's cheating.
Yeah, and if you haven't heard it, my definition of cheating is if you wouldn't do it with her standing there, that's cheating.
Right.
And those 40 certainly failed that litmus test.
Absolutely.
You've said since the show that, now, wait a minute, this ain't all me. She's a pessimist. She doesn't communicate. She's not doing right in this. And Sarah is very manipulative and controlling and sucks you in too. And you said you came across as the total predator, and the two women involved in this came across as just total victims in this, right? And you object to that.
That's how I felt when we left the show.
You felt like I was harder on you than I was on them, and that was unfair. Okay,
Right.
well, let me do that again.
Okay,
You have to be in control of you.
I understand that.
I'm not going to talk to you about Michelle. I'm not going to talk to you about Sarah. I'm going to talk to you about you. You say, you know, I'm not a sex addict. Well, I don't want to play semantics with you. You say you're addicted to adrenaline, okay? And you get your adrenaline through this sexual assignation thing. It's taboo, it's exciting, it's fun. I mean, you told me that you admitted that backstage.
Right.
And now your theory is, well, I'm ADD. Just can't stay on one person. And so it's hard to commit long-term and concentrate. The things that you're talking about, Michelle's pessimistic and has her problems. Sarah's controlling and has her problems. You may be ADD. All of those things are external. You have to own this for a variety of reasons. Number one, that's the only thing that's going to get you to stop and maintain that. And number two, you need to have pride in the fact that you are controlling yourself and you're making that choice if and when you do. You're not going to get an ADD pill that's going to fix this problem. That has nothing to do with you making a decision to turn outside your marriage.
I do get that.
Okay, that's what I want you to do. All right, Sarah's joining us next. We'll be right back.
Michelle did call my cell phone after the show. She told me that, I could have him, she'd bring his stuff over. And I was just like, crazy bitch, what are you talking about? I'm sure some of the old feelings will come back when I see him face to face.
Now, when the other woman was here, she said she was torn between Brad and her own husband. Even after the show, she told me backstage that she didn't know how to stay away from Brad. Here's what happened when she got home and faced her husband.
I want him to leave me alone. On the show, I felt that I had betrayed Brad. I had said that I wanted Brad to leave me alone. I wasn't ready to say those words to him at that moment. The affair was still going on. I did text message Brad right after the show. I wanted to know how he was. A couple days after the show, my husband moved out of the house.
I was at the end of my rope. I decided to move out because I didn't see a change in her.
I finally realized that the affair was over when I realized how much my husband really did love me, and that Brad was just very selfish. It's all about Brad. He's a narcissist. Mike and Brad are complete opposites in every way. One's beer and one's champagne.
I wonder every day how she could have been attracted to him.
After that conversation, he text messaged me and told me that he loved me forever. It's good to know, because through all this, I've always thought that I was different than the other girls. Michelle did call my cell phone after the show. She told me that, I could have him, she'd bring his stuff over. And I was just like, crazy bitch, what are you talking about? That's how she is most of the time. She was being irrational. My husband, Mike, does not know everything about the affair. He doesn't want to know.
As far as the affair between Sarah and Brad is concerned, I don't want to know any more details.
My husband, Mike, is not aware that I had sex with Brad 9 days before the first show. When Dr. Phil said Brad was possibly a sex addict, it didn't surprise me.
I said that he was a predator 2 years ago. I don't think that Brad understands that games that he's playing are ruining people's lives.
The thing that really impacted me the most was when Dr. Phil said that Brad was poison to my children. I realized he wasn't worth it.
Brad took advantage of my life. I look forward to the day when Brad's out of my life.
The best piece of advice Dr. Phil gave me was to go home and put my arms around my kids, to get counseling and get myself healthy so that I could work on my marriage. I miss Brad. If I did call Brad, we'd be right back in the mess we were in before. I wonder how Brad's doing and if he ever thinks about me. I'm sure some of the old feelings will come back when I see him face to face.
Well, the other woman in this situation wants to continue to keep her identity a secret, so she has asked us to call her by the fake name of Sarah. you have anxiety about being here with the two of them now, or just being here with Michelle?
I was under the impression that we were going to talk about the baby, and in that circumstance, I only wanted to discuss it with Brad and you.
Do you believe that this situation with Brad is over with?
Yes, I do.
You feared when you were here with Brad again that it might rekindle old feelings.
I said seeing him, but of course, you know, those feelings don't just automatically go away. There's no pill or switch or anything. So there's still feelings there, but...
Okay, and now a big question is, you have a child with you, and your position is that you think he should have no visitation rights with the child at all. Is that what your instinct tells you?
I believe it's in the best interest of the child for that to happen. Yes.
Okay, and tell me the reasoning that led to that conclusion.
That is because the baby has everything now that he needs. He has two parents that love him unconditionally, and there's nothing that he needs more than that.
All right, well, we're going to talk about this custody issue next, because one thing's for certain: the child's interests have to be ahead of anyone and everyone. So we're going to talk about that when we come back, and how they coexist moving forward in an appropriate way. We'll be right back.
My concerns now are what Brad's involvement is going to be with the baby he has with Sarah.
I would take full custody if she'd allow me to have it.
I have concerns about my son being with Brad and Michelle. Brad and Michelle have no money. They don't have enough room for the children they have now. Michelle smokes, and I do not want my son around a smoker.
I'm willing to be a part of the baby's life.
I just don't think she has that motherly personality. I have never seen her hug and kiss her 12-year-old. She's not warm and fuzzy to her own children, let alone to this product of an affair. I'm not comfortable saying a lot of negative things about Michelle because we're friends.
Well, we're following a very complicated story of infidelity that resulted in a husband getting both his wife and his mistress pregnant at about the same time. All parties admit there could be a potential custody battle over the child that Brad shares with Sarah. Now, you were just saying in the tape, not good motherly instincts, and so you wouldn't want your child exposed to that.
I don't think any woman wants to be a stepmom. I don't. And I don't think it would be a good experience for her or the child. I don't think it would be a positive thing in his life. I don't think she would be a positive thing in his life because of the situation.
You think Michelle is not a good mother, they have a small house, don't have any money, and she smokes. I think those were the things that you listed.
Those are a few of the small things, yes.
Okay.
I mean, more than anything, I don't think it's healthy for the baby. I think he's a very happy, content baby, and I think that would just confuse him to send him from home to home.
You're judging her as not a good mother and not being there for her children, but it's you that's out sleeping with somebody else's husband? Does that seem
Yes.
inconsistent?
It does. And I'm not here to judge her. I'm not. You asked my concerns about why I would not want my child in their home, and this is some of them.
How do you feel about this child being part of your family?
I think the child has every right to know his biological father. I mean, the child has that right. And I am more than willing to establish a relationship with him.
And I agree that he does have a right to know when he is old enough to understand and make his own decision. And if he says at that time that he wants to know his biological father, I'm willing to do that. At this point, he is a baby. He has no say. I am his only voice. I'm trying to do what I think he would want. And I think any child wants to be raised in one home with two loving parents And I honestly believe that's what's best for him.
Well, then why did you take the baby to a secret lunch with Brad and pose for family pictures?
Absolutely.
You know, I did that back when I was still involved with Brad. I thought we may still have a future. I know it wasn't the best thing to do. I wanted to see Brad, and I had the baby that day with me. It just...
Are you an unfit mother?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. My children love me. I love my children. I am very involved in each one of their activities. Absolutely not.
I'm becoming more involved every day. I mean, that's part of the counseling. We're, increasing the communication among the family.
Do you want to have a relationship with this child?
Absolutely. I have come to the conclusion that in the best interest of that I will only pursue this if we can come to an agreement one way or another, wherever we come, and we can come to an agreement, because if I force the issue with and upset her and her husband, that is not a conducive environment for I think the only way to do it is if we can get along and we can agree to something.
So you're going to give the power away to her?
I didn't say that completely.
Yeah, I think you did.
But I don't think a nasty court battle is something that would be conducive for him. I think that would disrupt his life.
That's because he has no money to go forward through the legal system and get it done.
See, everything with them is they're materialistic. Everything's about money. Several segments you've showed have been about money. And
We have plenty of money to go through the legal system.
and it's not about money. It's about what's best.
He has done nothing. The baby's 8 months old. He has done nothing. He has not gone through the legal system. He has not threatened me a couple times to file papers and start the process, but it has not happened. I'm not going to agree to it. There's nothing that's going to change my mind and make me think it would be good for a child to go from home to home with different rules, different bedtimes, and I think he'd just be a confused little mess. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Would it be safe to say that the bloom is off the rose here? I mean, you seem to kind of be saying, you can't afford to jack with me, people.
No, I don't mean to say that. I don't. But I
believe... We can play that back, because what you just said is they don't have the money to make this fight.
You know what?
And when she said, I have plenty of money, you got a real evil smile on your face, like, try me. Was I reading that wrong?
Yes, you were.
Okay, that's just...
I did that look, excuse me, because I was in their lives for 2 years. He told me hundreds of times that they had no money. I mean, I know that firsthand.
Well, you have no idea what we have now, do you?
Absolutely.
You have no idea.
Okay. That's fine.
She told me before that he had said that he would make me pay every dime he could to fight this and go back, and then he would stick me with hospital bills. It's all about money to them. That's what it's about.
Who?
No, it's about the baby.
Oh, her
it's about
husband.
the baby. Yeah. It is about the baby. But he hasn't done anything yet. I believe what's holding him back is he's wanting me just to come out here and decide today that, okay, let's do this. Let's make the baby go from home to home every weekend and be confused and not understand what's going on. And, his brothers and sisters don't have to do that. Why am I the only one that has to go between these two homes? I don't think it's good for him.
And you guys have a question about what I think is important there. And when we come back, I'm going to introduce you to the person we haven't met in this foursome. That's Sarah's husband. He's here. We're going to talk about this child when we come back.
He told me that he set boundaries when he called her to end the affair, which were I would be invited to listen in on the conversations. She didn't like the boundaries that he set.
When Michelle and I called Sarah about visitation, she told me that she thought I sounded hateful.
Just hearing his voice was hard for me. He sounded hateful. I told him that.
You could tell that she was upset that I called. I know she wanted to talk about the two of us because I wanted to do the same thing. Had Michelle not been on the phone, I think I would have ended up talking about more than just my son and visitation.
All right, Sarah's husband is joining us for the first time. He will also be disguising his identity and has chosen to go by the name of Mike today. Dr. Phil, you okay joining us up here? Sure. All right, let's see. I watch everything. I saw the eye chatter between the two of you. Do you really not want to be up here? Would you rather me put you in the audience? Because I'm happy to do that. I'm really glad to meet you. You either have the patience of Job or you're just really tuned out of all this that's going on around you. And I think that you've probably chosen to tune out some and have amazing patience as well. We're talking about what's best for this child. You two want to raise that child, and if you never heard from them again, that would be okay, because you just raise the child and love the child and do all the right things that you think are healthy. And you don't have any opinion of Brad that's good at this point, correct?
Correct.
I mean, you think he's not a good person because you think he made friends to get to your wife.
Yes.
And used and abused that trust, and so you think he is untrustworthy and not the kind of person that you think ought to be raising her child.
Right, and like we said, I mean, we do want him to know. We want the baby to know who his father is. But being as young as he is, and he just doesn't have the faculties to completely understand that now.
Do you have a negative opinion of Mike?
I didn't come here to talk about that.
You do need to talk about it because this is a person that is going to be a father figure, a male dominant role in your son's life. I'm not trying to get a flap going between you two, but in determining what is best for this child, can you say in good conscience that you are happy for your son to be raised in this man's image?
No, it's not. But, you know, at this point, he's going to reside with his mother, and I would like to be the dominant influence, but I don't know how much of that is possible. But no, it's not all right.
And do you think that you feel differently or would treat this child differently because it's not your biological child, and in fact is the biological child of somebody that you hold in very low esteem?
Well, that's not his fault. It's not the baby's fault.
Do you think this relationship is stable?
Our relationship?
Yes.
Yes.
You think it's stable? I mean, she's just days out of a long, deceptive, and torrid affair with another man, and you say that you think it's a stable relationship?
Stable, yes. As
opposed to healthy and good, or just?
Well, I mean it's not where we both want it to be yet. It's just not hadn't been that long.
You're saying it's stable at a low level, but not in danger of disintegrating immediately.
Correct.
In other words, it's not where you want it, but it's something you think could be built on.
Correct.
All right, I've got to take a break, and we're going to come back with this complicated story of infidelity, custody, and I'm going to say what I think needs to happen in setting up the future and parenting of this child. Brad says the affair with Sarah is over, but he still wants to be the father of the child that they had together. Now, I kind of hear you saying, however, that you're prepared to just step off and allow this to go, to just allow them to raise the child.
If that was the case, I would have done that a long time ago. I mean,
I'm wanting
to try to work this out. I'm trying to get them to have some dialogue, and I have been in contact with an attorney, and what he would like to do is either represent them as well, and all of us come in and sit down, or get with their attorney and try to resolve this as much out of the court as we can. And they're not willing to hear that. They're not willing to accept that. They want to fight over it.
Is that true?
We want truly what's best for that baby. And we want to be sure that what they're doing is the same feeling. That's what's best for the baby.
Do you all have an opinion of Brad as a father to his other children?
I think he's a wonderful father.
I mean, from what I know, I have no problem with how he's raised his boys.
Okay. So the problem here is Michelle. You don't have a problem with her either, but you have some small problems that...
I do, just because I have friends who are stepmoms, and it's not a good situation.
Right.
It's a hard job, and I think it would be hard for her.
But you were willing to run off into Neverland with my husband and leave your kids to have a potential stepmother? I mean, come on, get real.
Well...
But she never did do that. And how serious she was about ever doing that is still in question.
Exactly. I think I always knew deep down that it would never happen.
First off, my number one concern is that in no way does this child become a pawn, a way for you to lash out at them or you to lash out at them. And I definitely feel an undertow of resentment and judgment and emotion here that I fear could dominate decision making. Number two, I have absolutely no opinion of you as a father. From everything I understand, you are a reasonable, rational, loving, if over tolerant individual. But I absolutely believe to the core of my soul that a child has the right and the need to have a relationship with their biological parents. And the arbitrary decision that, well, I'll just decide when the time is that that's good for that child is not right and healthy thinking, in my opinion. Is there a price that the child has to pay by having an absent biological parent to the point that there has to be some sharing done? Yes, but that's what the two of you perpetrated. You can't then judge it and say, well, so you're just cut out. This child has the right and the need to have a relationship with his biological father. I think to just arbitrarily decide that you get to have that child and you don't is something that you might can claim here on the stage, but I'll assure you that's not the truth. You have no more entitlement to that child and the decision making over that child than do you. And what you want to do is sit down and figure a way that this child has an extended family, a way that this child has a room and a place and a sense of belongingness in your home and in your home. You two should never speak ill of this child's father. You two should never speak ill of this child's mother. You should find a way that this child can enjoy a relationship with both biological parents. I don't think you should take the child and close the child off from his biological mother any more than you should go the other way. I think there has to be some sharing here, and I think the thing to do is to sit down outside the court system and work out something that logistically works in the child's best interest. And believe me, when you get a third party involved, when you get a court involved and you surrender control to a third party who you've never met, don't know, and have no idea what their thoughts, values, beliefs, and views are, you're taking a real chance, and you will wish you had sat down around a table and worked out something so this child can have a relationship with both biological parents. Next, what Brad wants to say to Mike. We'll be right back. I appreciate both of you for being here, and I can tell you that you have a lot of work left to do, but you're doing it, and that you two stay away from each other. Comments or questions from either of you?
I want to apologize to Mike and to Sarah for this mess. I'm sorry this developed like it did. I'm sorry it went on like it did. I'm sorry that the pains for everyone involved. I'm sorry that the child's in the middle of it. I'm sorry that your children, my children, are in the middle of it. If I could take it back, I would, but I can't.
Okay.
Can I say to them that I'm also sorry for the pain, for everything. Michelle, I really am.
Thanks for being here. So long.
Today on Dr. Phil.
Have your husband cheating on you, lying to you. Marriage is on fire.
It's season 22.
An Affair with the Neighbor's Wife, Part 2.
You have a serious problem. He's after you because right now it feels good while he's doing it. You're either going to choose your family and your children, or you're going to choose him.
He loves me.
He has you in the back seat of a car, sneaking around in a hotel. If that's love, leave me out. You need to get out of her house, out of her family, out of her life. Leave this woman and her family alone.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Get ready to take care of you. When it comes to solving problems in a relationship, you've heard me say that stepping outside your marriage and having an affair will not fix the problems. It will just make them worse. You never fix problems by turning away from your partner. Well, the couples I've been speaking with this week obviously didn't take, or maybe didn't even hear my advice. Yesterday, we started navigating a complicated love triangle between Brad, his wife Michelle, and his girlfriend Sarah. Now, there was so much to talk about that we just simply ran out of time. Here's what happened yesterday.
My husband had an affair with my best friend. I did ask him, how could he do this to me? How could he do this to our kids? And his response was that he loved her and that he wanted to be with her, but he was torn because he loved me and wanted to be with me too.
I've never felt like the other woman. For some reason in my mind, the fact that I love him and he loves me makes it okay.
I ended up pregnant, and I thought at that time something has to happen.
Both women became pregnant by him at the same time.
I've been told that he did finally break the affair. Now I don't know if it's true or not.
I do love both of them.
It's confusing to me that he's so torn because he was just so willing before to give his life up with her and be with me.
I'm torn of who I want to spend the rest of my life with, whether it's my wife or my girlfriend.
This affair with her is still going on, right?
Yes, it is.
The other woman is going to join us here on stage. What gives you the right to lay with another woman's husband?
I am ashamed.
You are unbelievable.
You have a
husband. You have a family.
You say that you have raw feelings for him that are very strong and you want to be with him. So why haven't you left to be with him?
Every day I hope I'll wake up and my feelings for Brad will lessen and I'll be able to put it back together with my husband.
Do you want to stay with him?
I'm not so sure I do anymore.
See, we've had 40 affairs, 19 during the marriage. Are you number 40? No, I'm serious.
I believe I'm different. I believe that he loves me. He didn't love the other ones.
She says she fully intends to take your husband, and she's here to achieve that today.
I'm to the point now where, you know what, you can have him. I'll bring his dirty laundry over. You take it.
You've got to know you are a high-risk, damaged goods sexual addict.
It certainly appears that I'm in control and I'm making the decisions here, but I think we have 4 people here that are afraid to make a decision.
Really? When you stack the priority list in your life, where do the kids come?
I thought I can keep the family together, I can raise my children, and I'm meeting some other needs over here.
So you just thought it wouldn't impact the children?
I would love nothing more than to be the perfect husband and father.
I mean, I assume there's part of you that either thinks that this is going to wind up in a really bad place at some point if you don't stop it, or you are so gutless that you're trying to get her to make the decision. I'm trying to get you two to at least own where you are. Just be honest. You want her husband. You've said it. You tell her last night the affair's not over. You get hysterically upset. You say, all right, I want separate rooms. And you promptly call her and meet her down on the street.
Right.
Now, come on. And then you say, well, you know, gee, actually, I think that I may need to consider the alternatives here. That's a load of crap. You got separate rooms so you could go meet her. I'm just wondering, why is it his choice? Why do you have such low self-esteem, such low self-worth, that you've got to be there saying, pick me, instead of don't let the door hit you in the ass, buddy? We're talking to Brad and his wife, Michelle, and his girlfriend, who is going by the name Sarah. It's a complicated triangle. Now, there was so much to talk about that we're continuing with them because I think there is real need here. I think there are lives that can be crumpled up and thrown away here, beginning with the children, because two people involved are giving themselves permission to not only do what their impulses tell them to do, but I think in a complete and selfish disregard for its impact on everybody else. Now, Brad, in everything we've been over, we've been over what I call your resume, your history as a relationship partner. We've been over the history of this relationship back and forth. You say, I don't know if I even want to have anything to do with him anymore. Is that a knee-jerk hurt feeling, or is the fog lifting from around your head?
I don't know.
I mean, is it really? Does she say this in anger sometimes?
Yes.
Yeah.
You said this before.
Yes. Yes.
All right, walk me through this. You leave here and you go home and you stay in the relationship. What's going to happen?
This is going to continue.
Mm-hmm. You would agree with that, right?
So far, we haven't been able to stay away from each other.
You would agree with that, right?
I would say the probability is high.
Okay, so these two people are telling you that they have been having a mental, emotional, sexual affair at your house, in the car, in hotels, any place you can carve out a niche, and they're telling you they're going to continue that. What do you say to that?
I'm not going to put up with it. I will back out and let them have their way. You know, I'll divorce him. You can have him. Have each other. Have a great life.
Okay, but you said that before, and I ask you if that's just a knee-jerk reaction. No, is there a point at which you say, you know what, I deserve, my children deserve better than this?
Yes. Most definitely.
Is there a point at which you say, Brad may have no boundaries, but I do. And my boundaries say, you either treat me with integrity, dignity, and respect, or you don't treat me at all. Now, how do you feel about my saying that? How do those words fit in your ear?
They sound really good.
Why?
Because I've never said that to him before. And I've never really looked at it from my perspective. I've really never thought about.
How does it feel as you look at it from your perspective now?
It feels like I can stand. I can make a stand.
and stand up for myself instead of allowing him to continue to knock me down and push me down and treat me that way. The way he has treated me has been horrible, and I don't have to put up with it anymore.
Hold that thought. Do you think that she will ever actually divorce you?
I don't know the answer to that. I really don't.
Do you think she should?
Yes, I do.
You think she should divorce you, get away from you, and have nothing further to do with you?
I think for her well-being, for her emotional well-being, that would be the best thing for her.
Do you believe that if she does that, because you understand that one of my theories is you want her to kick you out so you don't have to make the decision.
I understand that you think that.
Do you agree?
No, I don't completely agree.
Okay, you don't agree. Okay, let's assume that she does that. Let's say you get the easy way out. She says, I'm out of here, you do what you want. At one level, that would be a happy day for you, wouldn't it? Because you'd say, problem solved. I'm free to pursue what I seem to be obsessed with.
Right.
So that would be, at one level, that would be a freeing day for you, right?
Yeah, that's it.
At another level,
right,
it would be a tragic day because of your children and your family and
right,
finance and all of that. But you'd be green light to just go get her.
Right.
Okay? Do you think that 5 years down the road, you would be married to her, living happily ever after in a little cottage somewhere? Is that what you would predict?
I'm realistic that there's a honeymoon period and you know, marriage takes its toll. I'm realistic with that.
But now answer my question. Do you think 5 years down the road, the two of you would be together?
I believe that.
You believe that? Okay. Now let me get your position. If she does what I think she is really spooling up to do and says, not just in word but deed, you want him, you got him. Do you predict that the two of you would be together 5 years from now?
Yes.
You say yes. I'll tell you what I think when we come back. We're talking to Brad, his wife Michelle, and his mistress, girlfriend, other woman, however you want to describe it, who is going by the name of Sarah. One of your questions was, do we realistically have a future here? My prediction is that if you actually once were free and got married, you would become Michelle. And you would line them up just like you've been lining them up with your current wife. Because the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. And barring some major change, and I know you say, but he loves me. He loves me. Don't kid yourself, girl. This ain't about you. And it's really not about you. You have a serious problem here. Now, we can call it sexual addiction. We can call it inadequate personality. We can call it used to be a stud in high school, lost my hair, and have to keep proving my virility. Took a lot of courage for me to say that. Whatever label you want to put on it, you are functioning at an incredibly immature level. Okay? It's a level at which impulse controls instead of impulses are controlled. And It sounds so trite for me to say, Michelle, don't personalize this, what's happening, because, I mean, how much more personal could it be to have your marriage ripped apart, have your husband cheating on you, lying to you, stealing time, effort, energy, money, everything that could be invested in the family being invested in some interloper? That's a pretty personal affront. But when I say don't take it personal, I mean this has nothing to do with you. You could be the most wonderful, just punch it up on a computer, what you would think would be the perfect woman. And it wouldn't matter. Because the truth is, you are an intelligent, articulate, beautiful, vibrant woman. It isn't about you. This isn't about your inadequacies. Why is that so hard for you to hear when I said that?
Several reasons. Number one, I've been led to believe that it's partially my fault. It's problems in our relationship. It's, you know, and I've wanted to believe that it was his personal issues, his personal struggles, his personal problems. But I battle with that because, you know, I have him telling me it's our marriage, it's me, it's so just hearing it.
But you've sat here today as I've talked to these two and asked questions where I have direct verbatim quotes typed up of what they've said. Well, sort of, maybe, kind of, almost, sort of, I don't, you know, like that. I mean, it's like trying to sack fog. It's like nailing Jell-O to the wall. I mean, you're very elusive in ownership. That should tell you that when he's coming to you and saying, I'm doing this because you don't talk, you won't share, you aren't energetic, you aren't electric, you aren't charismatic. What he's saying is, I'm immature, I don't know what I want, I can't control my impulses, I'm going to reach for something. But he's just dumping it on you. At least have the decency to tell this woman in all honesty and candor that you own your choices, not her.
I have told her that.
I mean, really.
I have told her.
Well, you need to tell her
I have said to her exactly what you said to her. You know, I don't say, oh, this is all your fault and browbeat her.
You own your impulses, correct?
Correct.
I mean, you get that. Listen, have you been a perfect wife? I don't know. I haven't been over at your house, but I'll bet you're not. That has nothing to do with him making the immature, inappropriate, self-destructive choice to turn away from his partner to someone else to bridge pain, loneliness, hurt, gap, whatever. You never fix a problem in a relationship by turning to someone else. Bad choice. That's the problem. So it has nothing to do with you. And him being after you has nothing to do with you. Now, you may think that you're just the Juliet to his Romeo, and this is that y'all are just, you finally found your soulmates. But let me promise you, that's not what it's about. He is after you because he can. He's after you because right now it feels good while he's doing it. You know, the line in the song, the best part of love is the thinnest slice. He gets a whole loaf home. You may not be as shiny as he thinks you are now. And he may not be near as charismatic as you think he is because you hadn't taken care of him with the flu yet. I haven't really answered what I think the chances are and where I do think you'll be in 5 years or 5 months, for that matter, if you, in fact, pull the ripcord here and bail out of this thing. But what I know is these people all live blocks apart. When they get back home, they're going to continue to see each other. Their children are going to be crossing paths. What's going to happen? What's the future hold? And what does each of these people need to put on their list of things to do when we come back? We've been talking about unraveling a complicated affair that affects two marriages. These women each had a baby within 24 days of one another with the same man, Michelle's husband, Brad. Statistically, the chance that you two will have a successful relationship after you leave is probably not 1 in 100. A marriage that starts in infidelity, what kind of foundation is that? Then having to try to manage your exes and go through custody battles for children and all of that sort of thing. And if you think for a minute that a court is likely to regard you in a very positive way in terms of conservatorship for your children, given the genesis of your marital breakup and where you're headed, don't you think they might have a problem with your judgment and predicting the quality with which you might mother your children?
Yeah, I thought about that.
How would you feel about leaving your home and your children staying behind with your husband?
That just would never happen.
Pardon me?
I won't let that ever happen. I would never leave my children. That's one thing I know my husband knows. I'm a good mother. He would never, I don't think, ever try to take the children away from me.
People change when they get in that divorce court. I mean, seriously, you need to think about the fact that right now, you feel in power and you feel in control because you're the one that's being sought after and pursued. But once he realizes and decides that you're out the door and you're going with him, then he just may decide, I'll be damned if that boy's going to raise my children. You're putting your children in play. Do you get that?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you enter the divorce arena in the midst of infidelity, in the midst of double infidelity, and a husband that says, I don't want the man that stole my wife, in fact, stealing my children. I'm going to fight tooth and nail to keep them. You have put your children at play. You put them up on the table. You're up there playing blackjack. You threw your kids up on the table. Tell me how you feel about that.
I guess I've never really thought about it like that. That it really could happen. It scares me to death.
Well, you say you've never really thought about that. Is it that you're so in control of a fairly passive husband that you think you just dictate all the terms and conditions of what happens? I was doing a show on marriage, and I said, we tend to marry one person, but we divorce another. You know, the old boy you married and that you kind of got following you around hoping you'll let him stay just might find a little different attitude if you start loading his children up to take them to the man that destroyed his home. You reckon he might have a little fight in him?
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, I mean, is he worth it? Is he worth putting your kids at play?
No, my kids come first.
What right do you have to be sleeping with her husband's wife?
I have no right.
What right do you have to be fracturing the family unit in which her innocent children are growing every day just to feed your need?
I have no right.
I mean, I'm sure this is all fun and exciting and taboo, and you're rendezvousing and giggling, and everything's just all hunky-dory fun. But you know, everything, when you get to the end of the old line at the cafeteria there's a cashier. You know, you can just eat your way through the pie section, but you're going to go down there and you're going to have to pay up. We'll be right back. We've been trying to sort out what's going to happen with an affair between Brad and Sarah. Now, his wife, Michelle, has said, you can have him. I've had it up to here, don't want it no more, no how, no way. Now, Sarah has not told the whole truth to her family. I mean, everybody here is living in deception and lies. One of the things you said is, what do I do with all this guilt? And interestingly enough, I do believe that you have guilt about this. I think you are very wishy-washy. I think you go one side of saying, I'm going to go do this, and then probably right after you feel guilty, then, I think you flip-flop back and forth. I think that's part of the immaturity, emotional immaturity. And I'm not saying that to insult you. I'm saying it as a commentary on your conduct.
I understand that.
But I guess what I'm saying is, have you considered that the best way to assuage your guilt is to stop transgressing? Stop the bleeding first.
Right.
Okay, you got to get out of this thing. And you keep saying, both of you keep saying, well, we just can't help it. Move. If you have to, get away from, if you're so out of control that you just like a moth to flame, then get away from the candle.
We've discussed that. I know that they've discussed that.
Really, and I'm not saying that fixes your problem. It's just Sarah becomes Sue, and Sue becomes Carol, and Carol becomes whoever. What this amounts to is you need serious professional help. It may not be in time to save your marriage and your family, but I think what you have to do is get to the bottom of why you are the way you are. And you are the way you are because you never matured beyond a certain point emotionally. And I have some pretty good theories of why that we can talk about at some point, but I'm not really here about why today as much as I am about how. How you get out of this self-destructive, other-destructive mode. And you need help figuring out, because we all grow. We grow mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, every way. And you continue to grow mentally. You continued to grow physically, but you were arrested in your growth emotionally to the point that you didn't develop those internal controls to tell yourself no. The ability to predict where you're going. And unless and until you do that, you're going to continue to victimize everybody that you touch, because you'll be controlled by impulses rather than values. Does that make sense?
It makes absolute perfect sense.
Because your values, you can express values that you want to embrace, correct?
Correct.
But yet you have impulses that dominate your behavior.
Right.
And you need help to get that underway. I will help you get that help if you will take that help.
Yeah, absolutely.
What I won't do is help you get help with him, because he has issues he has to resolve individually that have nothing to do with you. And I'm going to tell you what I think you need to do when we come back. We're trying to bring a conclusion to this complicated affair. When I say conclusion, this is destructive. It's destructive to everybody involved. There's two marriages at stake. Children are on both sides. What's going to happen when they go home? When you leave here, what are you going to do?
I'm not sure.
What do you want to do? In a perfect world, what would happen?
In a perfect world, he would get the help he needs. Our marriage can be saved. But I'm not sure that that's feasible.
Mm-hmm. But in a perfect world, you would like to see the relationship healed, and you would like to see him healed, and you'd like to see her gone.
Oh, definitely.
Out of the relationship, not in your space. Do you think your children would benefit from that?
Yes.
Do you think that in addition to putting your children in play, that you are damaging this woman's children by what you're doing? Do you recognize that you are an enemy of her children?
Yes, I do.
How do you feel about that?
Not good. Not good at all.
How would you feel if she was an enemy of your children? If she was on a mission to destroy their peace, their harmony, their home? How would you feel about her if she was on a mission to, because your children are happy children, right?
Yes.
And they have their little rooms, and they have their friends and their hobbies and their things that they love, and they like to get, ready for bed at night, and it's all kind of cozy and warm around there. If she was on a mission to destroy that and rip it apart, how would you feel?
I never thought of it like that. I can imagine how much hatred she has. And I don't blame her a bit. I feel the same way.
Is that not exactly what you're doing? Yeah. Are you not on a mission to take the peace, harmony, and tranquility that her children now enjoy and rip it apart?
But how do I stay away from him? How do I get him out of my life? How do I...
First, you acknowledge who you are and what you're doing. Do you acknowledge that you are an enemy of her children, an enemy of her home?
Yes, I acknowledge that. I take full responsibility for what I've done.
Now let me ask you this. You said he loves you, right?
Yes.
If he loves you, would he put you in the position you find yourself today? If the man loves you, would he put you in a position of being a fearful, guilt-ridden interloper that is nothing short of the enemy of this woman's children? If he loved you, would he do that?
No.
Because see, to love someone is to put their interest ahead of your own. To do what is best for them, to nurture them, to help them, to make them a better person, a better citizen, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, in every way, to lift them up, to be better at being who they are. And instead, he has you in the back seat of a car, sneaking around in a hotel and attacking her family. If that's love, leave me out. I mean, I'm telling you the truth as I see it. Do you agree? Do you think you have compromised this woman and her integrity and her position in life in order to serve your impulse needs?
I would have to agree with that after having this conversation today.
Is that not amazingly selfish?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you think, sis? How am I doing?
You're doing a great job.
Stop.
No, don't stop.
I'm calling it as I see it. Stop me if I run a red light here.
No, and we've talked about that. I mean, we have.
Okay, well now let's stop talking about it. Let's start doing something about it. Let's start making a decision to disengage. I mean, let's seriously make a decision to disengage. Are you going to grieve that loss? Sure you will. That's part of the emotional growing you need to do, because what you do now is seek pleasure and avoid pain. But let me tell you, life is about sacrifice. It's about pain. We'll be right back. We've been talking to Brad Michelle about his affair with Sarah. And we're getting to a point that you have to make a decision to walk out of this deception, to walk out of this emotional quagmire, and do something different than what you've been doing before. What I want to know is that I want you to know, I've said probably 10 things to you today that you said, I never really thought about it that way. Never really thought about it from that point of view. You said a few minutes ago, after having this conversation, I see this differently. So, armed with that point of view, armed with that perspective, do you care enough about your children and their safety and security, mentally and emotionally and environmentally, to withdraw from this situation, put all of your interest and energy into their well-being, and seek to heal your marriage?
Yes, I want to.
It's just a matter of whether you want to be a slave to your lust and your impulses, or you want to be devoted to your children and your family. And to me, that's a pretty clear choice. You need to change your phone numbers, change your cell phones, change everything where you cannot get in contact with each other. You need to do the same thing. You need to respect that. And you need to get help, which I'm saying I'll get for you. I will get that for you. And you too. Help and support for you. But right now, the thing to do is for you two not to go in and sit next to each other on the couch and have some marital therapy. That's not what you need to do right now.
I agree.
This marriage is on fire. But you need to do some fire fighting, not prevention. You need to put it out. It's on fire right now. You need to put the fire out. And you've got to get your legs up on you. You've got to get a backbone about you. And you've got to stand up for yourself. You got to stand up for yourself, stand up for your children. Can this marriage work? I don't know. I don't know if it can. I don't know if it should. But what I know is your children deserve 100% of their mother. Focused, committed, loving herself and loving them. So you've got to find your legs. You've got to get some strength to you. You've given your power away to this man. You've got to take it back. Okay? And I'll help you do that.
Thank you.
And I will help you as well. Whatever needs to happen, whatever support is there. But you've got to make a commitment that you need to get help and not be poisoning this woman's life. You need to get help so you're not infecting people with this addiction, with this sexual exploitation. Are you willing to do that?
Yes, I am.
If I arrange that, will you do it?
Yeah, yes, I will.
And will you leave her alone?
Yeah, no, see, we've been through this several times, and what happens, it's not just me that calls her and how, I mean, it's back and forth.
I didn't ask you
breaks.
what she was going to do. I asked you what you were willing to commit to. Are you willing to say, I will get help and leave this woman and her family alone? You are an interloper. You are a transgressor. You are a burglar. And you need to get out of her house, get out of her family, get out of her life. You can't control what she does. You can only control what you do. That's all I'm asking you. And I will get you help to make that come true. I will get you the help. I will get you the support to help you do that, to find that strength, to find that control. But you have to be a willing spirit. Because if you go in there and just try to con, manipulate, and lie to the help I get you, I ain't gonna waste my time. If you're not going to be a willing spirit, then you're on your own. I'm just asking, will you be a willing spirit in leaving this woman alone?
Yes,
Don't you want him to leave you alone? I mean, I know that there is a part of you that feels that, but it's either, you're going to make a choice. You're either going to choose your family and your children, or you're going to choose him, because you can't have both. You know that. You know you can't have both. It's going to get fractured. You're either going to heal it or you're going to fracture it. That's your choice. Certainly after being here, I mean, we can call you Mother Teresa if we want to, but you know what's going on here. And you've got to make that choice. So what do you want?
I want him to leave me alone.
I'm sorry?
I want him to leave me alone.
Bottom line is you're going to put your arms around him, you're going to put your arms around your children. There's not room for both. I wouldn't think that would be a hard choice.
It's not.
We'll be right back.
We're out of time for today. Here is a sneak peek at Monday's shocking conclusion.
Next time.
His affair got his wife's best friend pregnant.
You have played me for so long.
I'm tired of it.
Now,
Meet the other woman's husband.
the battle for custody is on.
You two want to raise that child.
We want what's best for that baby.
You think Michelle is not a good mother.
I don't think she would be a positive thing in his life.
You're judging her, but it's you that's sleeping with somebody else's husband.
That's next time.
You do not want to miss that. On Monday, we're going to find out what happened after Brad, Michelle, and Sarah left the show and returned home. Did Brad and Sarah end their affair, or did they continue to see each other? Did Michelle decide to end her marriage, or did she decide to fight to save it? Plus, the other woman, Sarah, returns. Find out if she wants Brad involved in the life of her child that they have together. And we'll meet Sarah's husband and find out what he has to say. It just keeps on getting better.